talk about Cameron and Aris. So they were recently spotted this past Friday in a restaurant in Tampa by somebody on Reddit, and they posted this and they ended up talking more about it. They said that they went to the restaurant with some of their friends to have some food and drinks, and they said like nobody knew what they were filming for, and they were the only one who knew, and they said they're filming for Love After Lockup. They said they were there for a while and they kept having to retake scenes over and over again. And Aris is pictured here holding onto Cameron's arm, and I wonder why she's holding his arm like that. But I'm assuming since they were spotted filming together in Tampa that he's most likely living with her in Florida. And the person that spotted him said they believe that he looked to be about 5'7", but I don't know because Cameron fit like pretty good on that chair that wasn't even like meant to be a bed. And I think Cameron's like a good 5'4", 5'5", but 5'7", I don't know, unless Aris is just really tall. But anyways, let's talk about them in this season finale. So Cameron sits there and he's sleeping, he's cuddling his little Air Force One, and Aris wakes up and she's upset because it's her last day visiting Cameron before she has to go back to Florida, and here he is just sleeping the whole day away, and it's past checkout time. It's 1 p.m. and so Aris gets irritated and she throws a pen at him. She wakes him up and he's like, well, what the hell, why did you do that? And she said, it's 1 o'clock, it's my last day here. And Cameron's just irritating as hell. He said that it's 1 a.m. in China, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. And he just laid back down, and Aris was like, you know what, I'm over this. And she walked out the hotel room and went downstairs and got some coffee. So at first he tried to lay back down, but once he realized that Aris was downstairs and she was not playing, he realized that he had to get his butt up, and he started looking around and he's like, wait a minute, where is my wedding ring? And then he took a big old swig of some leftover alcohol or beer from the night before as soon as he got up. I'm like, man, this dude is hardcore. But anyways, he could not find his wedding ring, and he says that he felt like Aris was testing his gangster the night before, but he couldn't like list any examples of how she was doing that. And he said that he can't even remember exactly what happened or how he even made it back to the hotel. And he said that when him and Aris was complaining, he wasn't even trying to hear any of it, and it was just like the whole Charlie Brown where it's like womp womp womp. And he says it's like a thing that he does, like he goes in his own little world and can't hear ish whenever he's like super drunk. And see, here's the problem with Cameron. Cameron has zero self-awareness because he kept talking about over and over again, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know why she's upset. I feel like as long as I'm not cheating, then she has no reason to be upset. But dude, come on, like literally, she just married you. You're a husband now, so you have to be husband material. You can't be going out and getting wasted every single night. Unless he wants to wake up every single morning cuddling his Air Force Ones instead of Aris. But he sits there and like has no self-awareness, and I think he doesn't have any self-control. I feel like Cameron's one of those people that he has to go hard or go home. Like he can't just do something a little bit. He has to go full on out, get super wasted where he don't remember anything, where he's sitting there falling all over the place. He can't just like have a few drinks, and he has to be able to control that so he knows what he's doing. Because like he's trying to tell Aris, well, I didn't cheat on you. Well, you have no idea because you don't even know how you got home last night. And he doesn't even know what he did with his wedding ring. He had to sit there and go downstairs and ask Aris if she knew anything about his wedding ring. And then she showed it to him on her finger. And she's like, yeah, you don't remember that you threw it at me? And Aris, you know, she took that as you're pretty much throwing your marriage away. And that's something you don't play around with and just sit there and give people their rings back just because you're having a little hissy fit because you're drunk. And she said that she didn't like that at all. And he's like, look, I just got out of prison after doing 30 months. I can't be held accountable for whatever comes out of my mouth or whatever I do while I'm drunk. See, this is pretty much what Cameron was saying. He was saying like what Kermit's saying here. Like, listen, a drunk me said or did something, you gotta take it up with drunk me. You don't come at sober me. We weren't there and we don't know what happened. Like, you just gotta start recording Cameron when he's drunk, because he's just gonna gaslight you and act like it didn't happen. And so Cameron was like, look, it's kind of your fault, because if you would have went to the party with my family like you're supposed to, then you would have been there to monitor me and be able to help control me. And she's like, look, I shouldn't have to control or monitor you. You're a grown man. You should be able to handle yourself. And I'm sorry, you're getting that blackout drunk to where you can't even remember where you're going, what you're doing, or how you got home, then you need to chill out and slow your roll, because you can't be doing that, especially if he was by himself. He could have been like sitting there stumbling around in the middle of the road and got hit by a car. It could have been a dangerous situation quick. And Cameron just keeps using the excuse, well, I didn't go to jail. I didn't cheat on you. And see, this is how I feel. Like, I'm hoping this is just Cameron just partying, like, his first few days, trying to celebrate that he got married and celebrate that he's out of jail. And I hope that it's just like a little phase, not an everyday thing. I'm scared it's going to be an everyday thing, though. But with Cameron, the vibe he's giving me, just by the way he talks about his arrest, and he's even admitted himself that he just likes doing stupid stuff and living the fast life, I don't think Cameron's done. Like, a lot of times, you know, people get in trouble so many times, they hit rock bottom, and once they hit rock bottom, that's fine when they decide to change. And I feel like Cameron hasn't hit rock bottom yet, because he got lucky all his life, because he said he didn't go to jail for the first time until he's 30 years old, even though he was doing illegal stuff all his life. And usually when it's somebody like that and they get lucky so many times and then finally get busted after doing stuff for like 10 plus years, they get pretty cocky and they're like, oh, you know, even he says, oh, I got sloppy that time. So he just kind of gives me the vibe that he's like, okay, yeah, I got sloppy, so all I got to do is just make sure I'm not sloppy, and then I'll be good. I got away with it for 10 plus years. I can get away with it for another 10 plus years as long as I'm on my P's and Q's. So I hope that's not the case, but it looks like there's going to be a lot of drama with them in this next season, just from the clips that I've seen with them. I'm glad to hear that they're still filming, because I'm not going to lie, when I saw the preview for this new season, I thought it was pretty underwhelming. I think like the only interesting parts that I saw was like the whole fight with Monique and her sisters and Derek's sisters. And the thing is, like, I feel like this season finale was underwhelming too. Like, granted, it was a lot better than the season finale before this one, like of Love During Lockup. And it was like the season overall was a lot better compared to a lot of seasons. But I think the season finale was underwhelming, because usually we get a lot of tea in the season finale. And like the only tea we got was like we found out that Derek cheated on Monique, and then we found out Travis broke up with Ashley. But besides that, I feel like we didn't get a lot of tea in the season finale like we usually do in previous seasons of Love After Lockup. And I feel like a lot of that reason is because a lot of these couples are going on to the next season of Life After Lockup. And I feel like the footage that they typically would have used for the season finale, like the crazy drama, they're going to save all that for this next season of Life After Lockup. But my final thoughts is, I think Cameron is funny as hell. He seems like one of those people you can just like kick it at a party with, and he can just have you rolling for hours. But at the same time, he needs to learn some self-awareness, and he needs to sit there and realize that he's a stepdaddy now, and he has to start being an example to that little girl. But I do gotta give him props, because I follow him on social media, and he's been working at a call center like since he started on the show. And I gotta give him props for that. At least he's not just sitting there waiting around for his one big mega hit. At least he's getting to it and working on top of doing the show. But if he can learn a little bit of self-awareness and some self-control, then I think that him and Aris might actually have a chance at having a decent marriage, because they actually are really cute together. The real test, though, starts now when she goes back to Florida to wait for that 60 days until he can come down there and see if he can control himself, and when he goes out and drinks, and hopefully he won't cheat on her or end up back in jail. And we'll just have to wait and see, because that's going to be the real test. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts about Cameron and Aris, and then the season finale overall in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.